Today I'm going to be looking at a simple way to update this shirt that I've had in my wardrobe for quite some time. So stick around if you want to find how to embroider yourself some little bugs and beetles. Hello and welcome back to a kooky corner of YouTube. Now, if you saw the beginning bit, you will see that I have this shirt that I have had in my wardrobe for yonks and yonks. It was given to me by a friend and I have worn it, but I've not worn it in recent times. And I thought, you know what? This is ripe for something happening to it to give it a bit of a zhuzh. Now, the lovely thing about this shirt is that it already has some embroidery on it. So it's got little flowers and things. I could embroider more flowers on the front and on the collar if I wanted to, but me being me, I want to add in some on the cuffs as well, add in some bugs and moths and creepy crawly beetles because that's what I want. So I thought, okay, the best way to do this is to get some black and white line art of bugs and creepy crawly beetles. And I happen to have Canva, an app that I use constantly. There is no promotion here. I don't get anything free from Canva, but I do like Canva. It's a really good design option. I do all my thumbnails and all my little introductory bits on the computer that go through onto YouTube on Canva. So Canva's a great tool for graphic design and designing anything you want, basically. You can do leaflets, whatever. Anyway, that's by the by. What I wanted was black and white line art of insects and bugs. So I went onto Canva and I put together an A4 sheet of these little bugs. I resized them to the size I wanted them to be. Didn't want them to be too small, didn't want them to be too big. So these could have been any size I wanted them to be. And looking at this, it'd make a nice little colouring sheet as well. I might even do a little bit of colouring on here too. But yeah, I printed it out on the plain paper first, just to have an assessment of what kind of size I was dealing with, because I'd measured it kind of when you're on the computer. It's a little bit different to when you get it in real. And these are perfect size. These are exactly what I wanted. So what I am going to be using today is some of this stuff. It's the sulky sticky fabric solvy. I've had this for a while. It's great, and it's about time I started using more of it because it is very good. And the idea is that it's like a self-adhesive, a water-soluble stabilizer, but it's printable. So you can put it through your inkjet or your laser printer and it will print out whatever you want on it, so that you can then slap it onto your garment, stick it, stitch it, and then wash it. And then the solvent, the backing solvent, all disappears and you're just left with your embroidery. That's the plan. So I printed it on a sheet of the fabric solvy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these, I'm going to position them in different places, and then I think I'm going to stick, I could go all the full hog with these and do them as like a thread painted thing, but I'm just going to do the black and white outlines because basically I want to go with what's on the shirt already, and what I've got is very simple line embroidery, so I'm going to stick with that. I do like the back of that, it's rather lovely, funky. I need to wear this more often, and now that I'm up doing it, I will be wearing it more often, so that's a win. So yeah, I can cut out all of these now and position them. I might put some on the collar as well, maybe. I've got this little bit at the back, but that's not got a placket on the back, so maybe I'll not do anything with that. I need to redo some of that threading that back through, because it's a little bit loosey-goosey. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I thought I might show you and you could probably have a go as well. So the first things first now, I want to decide where I want my first piece to be and what I would like it to be. So I think I might actually need 2 sheets of this. I could have done different creatures on another one as well. That could be another option. It's going to be not a quick project, but it's going to be a fun one, because sometimes you only need one of these on just to zhuzh something up. It depends what you're putting it on, I suppose. So what am I going to have in this top bit? I kind of like this space for the bigger kind of mothy guys, so I might have one at either side. So let me grab my scissors, do a croppy. You can actually draw on this as well if you wanted to, and then stick it down. So you could draw on it rather than print it, and draw whatever the heck you wanted, really. Oh, kind of cutting into that butterfly. That's not a good idea. It doesn't really matter, because this is not the bit I'm going to worry about. Right, so straight across, getting rid of some of the excess here. Make sure you've got a smoothish surface. I have ironed this, but it's chambray, so it doesn't iron awfully well. I'm going to try and unstick a bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to place it there, I think. Perfectamundo. Now, my only choice now is, do I do it in black or do I do it in white? Or do I do it in a dark blue? That's also another option, because I'm looking at the things that are already in the embroidery on this shirt. And we've got a blue, we've got a white, and we've got a grey. Black would still fit. I think I'm going to go black for this first one. So I'm just going to stitch around all the little line bits. I'm probably going to do like a split stitch or a back stitch. Some of the little bits that are there may end up being like French knots in various sizes, because I think that would work. What do you think? What do you think? Anyway, I'm going to crack on and I'm going to stitch this now. Okay, so that shirt has now just gone in the wash. I did soak off the fabric solvay, and I've just put it in the wash to give it a rinse basically, and to hang it out to dry and see how it's turned out. There's other ways that you can use these, obviously. It doesn't have to be on clothing. You could do it on something like a hoop, so a fabric hoop, some felt. This would work also. So hoop up a piece of felt. I might have to loosen that actually. Yes, it helps if I loosen it. Just going to give myself some room around it. There we go. Hoop up some felt. And what we can then do is I'll just trim around it, leaving some on the edges so that I can fasten it off behind. Trimmy, trimmy, trim all the way around the edges of my hoop. There we go, I've only done it quite roughly. And then pick one of your beetles or moths or whatever it is that you want to put in the middle, and then that just gets stuck and you can just embroider that on in the same way. Can't decide which one to go for. That one's too wide, perhaps. Could do a ladybug, or you could do a bee. I do still quite like this one though, I have to say. It's cute. Now another thing you could do as well, if you wanted to, was to add some stitching around it as well, but I'll do that afterwards. First of all, I'm just going to put this on here. So it's kind of just like a peelable backing. It's kind of see-through. And just eyeballing this, get it in the center. Press it down. And you've got your pattern there ready for embroidering. I'm not going to leave it in this hoop, so it doesn't really matter if it's not quite centered. It's probably going to go into a smaller hoop when I finish with it. But then just pick a colour to go with. I think maybe a dark green. If I can find a dark green thread, that would work quite nicely. I'm just looking in my stash here. I think I've got a dark green, darkish green. Somewhere in here. You can hear all the rattling noises. That's a darkish green, yes, very dark. Okay, so I'm going to pull myself off a length. I'm using my big scissors instead of my snippy scissors, but that's fine. And separate out a couple of strands. I did try on the collar actually of my shirt with the pearl thread, and it just looked too heavy. So I then went to the 2 strands of embroidery thread, and that's just about the right thickness. I think the pearl thread is just a little bit too heavy for it. So I have gone to this thread instead. Just get my knot in the end, and I'm going to start from the bottom of this wing here. So bring in my needle up through the top. Yes, I did hoop up the shirt because the shirt material is quite floppy and it can get distorted. So if you're stitching, it can kind of pull, and you wouldn't, you'd end up with a puckered piece of fabric, which you don't really want. So I'm just going around the outside edge of this wing. I did a counterpart of this one for the collar. I will show you what it looks like with the pearl thread, but I have to say that I do prefer this two-stranded embroidery thread method better. Just seems to look better. I am considering putting a lot more of those beetles and bugs on my shirt, so it might be an ongoing thing. But yes, what I'm going to do is the sheet with all of the... I'm going to put PDF of this in my file in the Facebook group. So if you go into the files in the Facebook group, there will be a PDF of that if you want to have a go at some beetly, mothy bugs like mine. Obviously, you can do this with whatever you want. You can literally stitch anything you like, and the method will still be the same. Kind of gone off on a tangent there. Let me take that one back out. So if you do make a mistake, it kind of is worth just taking it back a little bit, because it's going to bug you. No pun intended. Maybe. Rethread. Come on, be good. There we go. So yeah, just be very careful of the curved areas, because they can kind of get thrown out a little easier. I'm doing kind of like it's like a split stitch, so I'm going, it's like a back stitch, but you go into the thread behind as well, not just to where it finished. Yeah, kind of go into it a bit more, just to give a more solid line. And as I am doing this, I'm thinking of all other different applications that you could use this for as well. So baseball cap, something on the front of a plain baseball cap, on canvas bags, denim jackets, anything that you can sew into, basically. I'm also considering as well that, yeah, it could be used as a colouring sheet in its own right. So you could just print off the sheet of beetles, bugs and moths and just colour it in. And I might actually do that with mine. I'm kind of thinking that might be a very nice relaxing thing to do. Not that I haven't got 101 other things to be doing, but I am thinking that might be what I would enjoy as a relaxation thing. Yes, I'm very impressed with the Super Solvi, or Fabric Solvi, should I say? Fabri Solvi. I can't even remember what it's called. Let's have a look. It is Sticky Fabri Solvi. I was correct. I think there are other versions you can get as well, which are not sticky. This just makes it easy. It's just an easy method, because you don't have to worry about it moving around. It's stuck to your piece. The only thing you have to consider is whether you'll be able to wet the surface that you are stitching into, because it does have to be soaked off. So you have to soak the Fabri Solvi in some water and rinse it for about 3 minutes in order to get all the dissolvable glue off your piece. But there are many, many other applications that you can use the Fabri Solvi for as well. So I think it's well worth having some in your stash. Another thing I was thinking about as well is the fact that once you've sewn into clothing, you might want to put something behind it to stop it from being itchy against your skin if it's something that's close to your skin. So I've just ordered something that that will help with that. I've gone a little too far. Oh, I went ahead of myself there. So I'm just making that stitch connect better. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so it's like a stick-on. It is another sulky product. Can't actually remember the name of it now, but I will show you in another video, because I will be showing you my shirt when it's dry. At the end of this video even, I will be showing, I can tell you then exactly what it is that I've got that I'm going to use to stick on behind the embroideries to stop it from being an irritant, and also to protect the back of the stitches. It looks quite a handy, a handy thing that you can have in your stash. So I think you can see where I'm going with this. This is going to be a little piece that I might do as a present for somebody. I would maybe stitch around it, so I'll probably take this out of a hoop, put a circle around it, and then put it in a smaller hoop, maybe with some decoration, paint the hoop, and that's a nice little present for someone. So these little stickers are going to come in really, really handy. As I say, the PDF of this sheet is going to be in the Cool Kooky Creatures Facebook group. So you must remember that it's the group and not my actual artist page. It's a group, and it will be in the file section there. So I'm going to sit and have a cup of tea and finish a bit more of this off, and I'll show you when I've finished it. So I'm back here. You can probably hear the bells from our local church just ringing in the background. But I'm back with my shirt. It's almost dry, but I thought I would show you just before the light disappears altogether. So this is what it looks like. Now you can see the difference between that really thick pearl cotton thread and then the two strands of the embroidery thread. I will do a matching one on this side just because I've done it in that anyway. But I really like the two strand of the embroidery threads. So I'm going to be doing some more of these little beauties on here. And so I'm going to be taking them all over the shirt at some point. You don't need to do that. You could just do one. You could do them just on the collar, you know, just to add some interest. That is totally down to you. But I think it's a really nice way of updating bits of your wardrobe just to give them a bit more extra interest. Anyway, this is the embroidery of the moth on this hoop. I'll be finishing this off at some point, but I just thought I'd show you that that's all embroidered on there now. It looks really nice. So all I need to do is soak off the Fabrisolve, let it dry, and then I can, I'm thinking I might do it in some kind of a border circle or something and put it in a smaller frame. So that's my thoughts for that one. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little look into my forays into embroidering onto my clothing, which I'm really enjoying. I've got some ideas about needle felting onto clothing as well, which I'll probably share with you in a future episode. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and you will know whenever I upload another video, because if you click the little bell, it will tell you when another video is uploaded. Anyway, that's enough from me. I will be back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.